What's up, everybody? It's Tanya Smith here, and this is Stream Like a Boss TV, and we're doing a special edition show. Yes, we are. So, the reason why I'm doing this show is because I wanted to talk a little bit about Riverside FM, and it is one of my new all time favorite platforms when it comes to doing recordings. Editing, specifically editing, because I still absolutely love my eCam. So I can't let go of my eCam. I'm going to say that. But Riverside has a whole lot going on for it. And I just want to share some things with you. The one thing I'm going to do real quick first is acknowledge some folks and say hello, because I know it's Sunday. Happy Sunday, Tech Troublemaker in the house. Look, I haven't set up. There's some things I was trying to do last minute and I haven't set up properly. Let me see if I can get this up because I want to say hello. Let's see. That's not it. Okay, I'm just going to do my normal. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let me see. Radiance Beauty Academy LLC, Black Friday deal. Yes, that is what we're in the house to do today. We're going to do a Black Friday deal. So here's the thing. Let me share a little bit of background. So Riverside FM is a tool that a lot of people know from a podcasting standpoint because it's been around for a long time. So it's not like a fly-by-night type of system. And by the way, if you do have questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. I'm watching for your comments and your chats. Not a fly-by-night platform. It's been around for a long time. But I'm going to say this. I probably close to a year ago now, they were sending notes and asking me, hey, we want to check these features out. We've got some new stuff coming. We would love your input and insight. And I actually, to be honest with you, get this kind of thing all the time from different software platforms because I do love to review software. But I do it from an honest place. Like when I review software, so many of you know if you're watching this live or watching the replay, you know I'm going to tell you the truth. There are going to be things that I love and things that I don't love, or I might not like something at all. And if I feel that it's not something I'm ready to fully promote with my whole chest, like I'm not ready to voice that it is great, then I'm probably not going to give a full-throated review. And so at the time when they were first coming to me about some different features that were being added, I remember that there were a lot of things that I was hearing from other people because I wasn't using it, but I was hearing things like poor quality resolution of the recordings, and there were a lot of glitches. And I had been on certain people's shows as well with podcasts where they were using Riverside, and it just wasn't my favorite at the time. So I just said, well, give me access to stuff and I'll see what I think. And I was not ready. Over several months, we kind of went back and forth and I said, nah. And I tested out their live streaming platform and I said, not ready. And here's what I think. Like, here's some of the things that I don't think are ready. This is why I'm not ready to promote this to my audience. But I will tell you over the past few months, I made a decision because I started to see that a lot of the features that they were adding were like, wow. So when I say that, what I was noticing is that I was able to centralize some of the things that I was doing outside of Riverside for light editing. Because again, for those of you who know me, part of the reason why I love live streaming is because I don't want to spend hours and days editing. I want to do light editing, and I love live streaming because it's transparent and what you see is what you get, just like right now, right? But, and thank you. Like Radiance by Raytelia said, let me pop this up here. We know that you are always going to give us the truth with your whole chest. Exactly. So I wanted to do that today with y'all and give you some thoughts about where Riverside is right now, why I decided to become an ambassador, and I got a special bonus for you. I have a special coupon code for you, a promo for Black Friday that is exclusively mine. So I'm going to give you the link, and I'm also going to give you the promo code in just a few minutes. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to try to do some things in real time because they sent me a list of features that have been improved or updated. And so I'm going to make an attempt to test some of these out while we're together, so that we can see them. And if I can't get it to work, because literally I was testing this with my daughter, we did a 5-minute video, and I'll share that with you how we need to clip it. There's some improved magic clips controls. There's now fade in and fade out for background music. They have something called smart scenes. That's the main thing I'm interested in seeing how that works. And then there's also zoom and crop to adjust video focus. Additionally, they have an AI voice feature, which I cannot show you today because I don't have access to that at this time. But I can tell you a little bit about it, and I can send you to a linked video that they have that will talk about the AI text to speech feature. To me, I get the impression that it's much like a lot of the different tools, where the advantage is that it is using your own voice. And I think Descript and a couple of other platforms have this. It's using your own voice and cloning your voice so that, let's say you recorded a video and somewhere in the video you forgot to add a little promo about, your sponsor, or you forgot to do whatever it was, and you just don't want to take the time to record it, or there's probably a plethora of reasons that people use this cloning stuff, because I'm seeing a lot of it. Personally, I'm not there yet. I'm not completely sold on that, but just be honest. But what this will allow you to do is to paste into the space, which I'll show you, paste the text version of what you want it to say, and then it will literally clone your voice and speak as though it were you. Now, I can see maybe adding this as an intro or an outro for your podcast. That's a benefit, a use case I can see myself using it for is if I wanted to like copy and paste some text around, giving an overview of what the podcast is going to be about. And I want to pop that in there. But we'll have to see. We'll have to play around with that one. So that one, I'm not going to demo, but we'll play with some of the other stuff. Okay? All right. So if you're ready, type in ready in the comments. And what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and play this really super short video. And on the other side, we'll get ready to do this demo. And I'm excited to share the Black Friday Riverside FM coupon code with you and the link so that you have that too. Okay. So I'll be doing that very shortly. I'll see you on the other side of this video. Get your pen and your notepad out. Make sure you ask some questions if you have any, because we're going to be testing this together. We'll see how this goes. All right. Alrighty, folks. So today's boss topic is the topic of talking about Riverside FM, and we're going to check out some new editing features. And in addition to that, I'm going to also share with you my new and exclusive QR code /link/promo code. So there's a link plus a specific promo code that will give you 35% off the annual pro plan. Huh? What? That's what I said. So I want to make sure that you actually have access to that. And I'm going to make sure that we give you that. Actually, I think we're going to do it right now. How about that? Well, let's pop it up. Not that scene. There we go. Here's the code. So we're talking about Riverside FM. And this is how you are going to get access. And I'm going to go ahead and go through a demo in a few minutes. I'm going to answer your questions. And then I will make sure that I also come back and share this code with you. But in order for you to get the 35% off of your pro annual plan, and that's 35%, which is pretty darn good. What you're going to do is type in tanyasmith.link/RiversideBF for Black Friday. So tanyasmith.link/RiversideF or BF. And at the QR code, it's going to take you directly to that link as well. So there's two parts, though. You want to go to the link, but you also want to type in Tanya 35 for your promo code so you can get the 35% off. Okay. So that is an affiliate link, which means I get a small commission anytime people purchase using my link, which is exciting. I do love that, of course. But as I mentioned earlier, I only share information about platforms, services, programs, products, whatever, that I feel I can put my name behind. So I'm at the point now where I do feel confident about putting my name behind this. But I'm going to show you a couple of things. First, here's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to share with you some of the things that I already know work really well, that I'm excited about and I've been using. But then we'll play. Then we'll play with some of this stuff, okay? So I'm going to, I just noticed my window is super large over here. So I'm going to fix that real quick here. So it'll give us more, there we go, the best content. Okay, I'm going to take you over into my dashboard right now in Riverside. And if you need that QR code again, I'll make sure to pop it up in just a few seconds. If you have questions, make sure to put those in to the chat. Tell me where you're watching from too. Usually I do my whole OG newbie thing. This is a special episode, so I'm doing something a little bit different than I normally do, and we're focused on this software. But I'm going to take you into my dashboard right now, and we're going to kind of play around in there, and I'm going to show you a few things that I absolutely love and how I'm currently using it, okay? All right. So this right here is my dashboard inside of Riverside FM. And as you'll note, I have it set up in different categories. So I have a webinars folder, I have a guest experts folder, I have a solo show folder. The solo show folder is where I have most of my content right now because I've been working on converting some of my live streams over into podcast form. By podcast, I mean not just turning or converting a playlist on YouTube into a YouTube podcast, but also converting my live streams over into an acceptable format for Spotify, Apple, and Amazon, etc. Right? And so Riverside has made this really easy for me to do. And I have been loving the fact that I can do almost everything directly inside of this platform. Now, generally, I would say what I had to do before. In fact, let me kind of talk you through that so you can kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about. What I had to do before is I would take my live stream, I would have to cut it up using something like Opus Clip or Menvo Pro or any number of different apps because I've been through a lot of them. I would have to do that. There was a lot of manual process to it when I used to use something called Content Fries, which is darn near obsolete in my opinion. The newer ones like Menvo and Opus work great, but I would have to do that. I would have to also upload my live stream content into something like Wondershare Filmora, which is a similar platform to if those of you who are using Final Cut Pro or other editing tools, right? So maybe you're using DaVinci Resolve or something like that. But I have to put it in there in order to add music to it. There were just all these different spaces I would have to go. And then, of course, Descript is still a great program. So for those of you who use Descript, it's a great program for you to be able to just simply go in and, edit by cutting out different versions of your text or different segments of the text. That was cool, but again, it's yet another subscription and yet another tool. So what I've been able to do inside of Riverside is literally to combine all of those different platforms into one. And that has made life so much easier. Oh my goodness. So when I go, let me see if I don't know that I have any short ones in here because all of my stuff, my videos typically tend to be longer. They just do. Here's an example. So this particular video right here, I went into the video, I said, hey, go ahead and edit. And I went in and when I made those edits, let me show you how I did it so you can get a feel for what this looks like. And I'm not actually going to edit in this moment, but I just want to give you kind of a short version. So see, similar to Descript, you can go in here and you can actually cut out little snippets, right? And delete this and then reproduce or produce the entire video without those segments that you decided to delete. You can also use an AI producer, which allows you to smooth out your speech, to mute people when they're not speaking, to do magic audio, which basically cleans up your audio. So if you're doing a broadcast with another person, which is what we're going to play with in a minute, if you're doing a broadcast with another person and maybe there's some noise going on in the background, dogs barking or, whatever, Magic Audio will help to clean that up. So it's got all of these different features, which is golden. The more I play with it, the more I've fallen in love with that. But then it also has something called tracks, which we're going to play with in a minute too. The tracks are cool because when you use the tracks, what will happen is, again, if you've got two different voices plus a music track, you can make edits to each of those tracks individually or all at once. So very similar to like Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Wondershare Filmora. So instead of me having to take my content and upload it there, I can literally just upload it one time into Riverside and make the edits here. Additionally, you can add some branding. I don't know necessarily that I have ever used this, but I'm just telling you, you have the option to if it's something you wanted to do. You can go in here and you can say, hey, I want to change the background and I'm going to have, rounded corners or whatever it might be. So if there's something that you want to add, including your logo, if you wanted to upload that for your final produced version of the video, then you have options of doing that. Now, I'm going to tell you, mostly I only come in here to edit the full video in the horizontal format. I only come in here to do that for purposes of then uploading it to Spotify because I'm using Spotify video for my podcasting. And by the way, because I'm soon in January going to be talking at Podfest Expo, so excited. I'm going to be sharing a lot of my methodology there in my talk. So if you happen to be coming to Orlando, just know you'll get the full version. We're doing kind of a slightly edited, very condensed and high level version right now. Okay. So the other reason why I would use this is, let me move this over here. The other reason I would use this is to generate magic clips. So let's just do that for this one. So I'm going to generate magic clips. Now, remember I talked about Menvo, okay? And this is one of the features that I promised I was going to demo for us. Menvo, Opus Clip, Video AI, a lot of those tools. I think somebody's using Clipchamp from my community the other day. We were talking about this. What those tools will do is they'll take your longer video and clip it into shorter bites. Shorter vertical usually is what we're looking to do so that we can add those to Instagram Reels, to TikTok, wherever you're trying to share vertical shorts, okay? YouTube Shorts. So instead of having to go outside again to another platform to do that, I can literally take my video and clip it right here inside of the Magic Clips feature in Riverside. What? So imagine how much time that's saving you from having to go from one thing to the next. You literally are going directly from inside of a single app, centralizing the work that you're having to do. So let me do this real quick because I promised I'd keep that code popped up for some of you. If you haven't already heard me say this and you're coming in late, the QR code and the link that you see at the bottom underneath here, that link will use, that's my affiliate link, and then you use promo code Tanya35 to get 35% off of the annual pro payment plan, okay? So it has to be pro annual, but 35%. And if it doesn't work or you have any trouble, make sure you comment and let me know so that I can let them know. But QR code and the link that you see below are going to the same place. You're going to type in Tanya35 to get to the app and to get that deal for Black Friday. Hey, because Black Friday, we want some deals, right? Okay, let's go back in and I'm going to show you. Let's just clip this one, okay? So one of the things, just like with a lot of the other clipping type of platforms that you're going to do, is you will tell it what you want it to focus on, and then you're going to give it specific topics to highlight. So, for instance, if you're talking about, like in my test video with my daughter, which you'll see in a second, we talked about boba because it's one of her favorite things. And then we talked about her getting herself ready for moving on and becoming the adult that she's always been meant to be. And we talked about a few different topics. So if I want the app, the Magic Clips app, to highlight or talk about or focus on clips that are generated for a specific topic, so just for the boba, then I can type in keywords that will relate to that. But I'm not going to do that in this case. I'm just going to generate clips so you can get a feel for what it looks like. And when you generate them, usually it will take a few seconds. And the same thing I'm discovering with interviews. So if you're doing pre-recorded videos, it's going to take a little bit of time, probably less than 10 minutes for a longer interview. It could be 20 to 30 minutes, depending on just the length of the content that you're uploading. Okay. So, but with the Magic Clips, that hasn't taken that much time. The production of the final edited version of your video may take a little bit longer, but that's what I'm noticing. So see how it's saying hang tight. This might take a few more minutes, but it's at 5 of 5. So we're going to see what it produces in just a second. The other thing that I'm loving about this, in addition to the fact that I can quickly edit and convert over into an audio podcast, is that I can use show notes to create all kinds of other content. So I can still go and use my cast magic. Happy Sunday to you too, Michelle. I can still take the transcript and use it in other ways, but I am loving this. Now, the last time I came to you all and talked about Riverside, I was not loving their Magic Clips. This time we're going to see together if the changes that have been made are really revolutionary. Because I think that they're supposed to be, but we're going to see. Okay. So I just went ahead and did Magic Clips, and now it's giving me all of these different clips, right? So it's made these clips for me. Let's take a look and see what our editing capabilities are now. Before, they weren't that simple. Now, mind you, this is my first time actually messing with this. So I don't even know why this background is here. I don't love that background. I'll give it my background. Hey, okay, just so you know what I did here, and I'm going to see if I can blow this up a little bit more. Why is it doing that? Okay, I'm going to see if I can switch scenes to a different version of screen share so you can see more. So let me do something really fast here. Let's do that. Okay, so I can get out of the way. I don't want to be the focus on this. I want to show you the app. Okay. So what I did here is I actually uploaded, I had a couple of templates that I've used for other apps. And so I uploaded that app to kind of see how this would work. Now what I'm curious about is how this will this allow me to blow things up and make them even bigger? Because it's not really cropped exactly the way that I would want it to be. Okay, well, maybe I could use that. But look, what if you wanted to fill this with your whole entire conversation? As a matter of fact, let's do that. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to show you something else. Let's go to the one that I did the test run of earlier today with my daughter. And I think the one we did is test 2. Let's do this one. Okay. Let's check this one out and see what it does. The reason why I'm going to try this is because it should give us a full vision, a full view of our faces, because when you record in Riverside itself, you have more options. And that's kind of what I wanted to play with today. And I thought I'd play around with it with you. And so you can ask questions if you have any, or if there's something of note that you're like, hey, let's look at that. Just put it in the chat. So I'm going to take this interview, which really wasn't an interview. It was just us talking. But I'm going to magic clip it. And there's a couple of things that I want to see if it can do. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it on auto. Oh, look at this. So you can focus on the speaker. So she was actually the test. and this is me. So I could say, hey, let me just focus on my guest. But instead, we're just going to do that and just do generate clips. Let me see what comes out of that. Okay, so that should happen in a few seconds. So there's two things. Let me get my list up real quick here. So zoom and crop is something that they've shared that they have added where you're able to adjust the video focus. That's what I need to go play with in the Magic Clips. Second thing is you can do fade in and fade out for background music. So we can add music to our clips and to our video. Improved Magic Clips controls. That's really what I would love to see, but we're playing with it in real time, so we'll see. And smart scenes. Smart scenes is interesting in that it's supposed to allow you to be able to go back and forth. So where we have this side by side thing going, there are going to be times where she's talking, and this would be if you were doing an interview and your guest has something to say, and instead of you having to switch scenes like I typically do in Ecamm, what it will do is it will switch scenes for you, and it will spotlight that person or spotlight you talking. So I want to play with that too. So first thing we did is we did a magic clip. Let's see what these look like. I think this will give us a better understanding of how this works versus the ones that I had in there before. Okay, so see how it is centering our faces and putting us vertically instead of side by side. So yeah, I think that's going to be pretty typical, but I like that I don't have to make it happen. With some of the other apps and tools, I have to make that adjustment. Here, just because she was super close up like this, I don't think we can crop her out. Let me try. Nah. That'll mess with things. Let's see. Okay, we'll keep her at full. The other thing I want to be able to do. Okay, so it's got captions, I see. Let's play with captions and see what that can look like. So captions over here. Ooh, we can change how those look. Again, saving time. Hello. Does anybody get this? Like, instead of me having to go into another app to do this, I literally can come in here and say, no, I want to use this. I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to blow this up a little bit more. Okay. Okay. So I like that you're able to actually change the different captions from directly inside of the app. Okay. And you can change the color scheme, it looks like, too. If anybody has some questions on this, holler at me and let me know. Okay, let me see what else we can do. So if I wanted to, looks like I still have the capability of being able to delete sections of this this particular video, even though it's a short. I can edit this as well and add back some words if I chose to do that. So again, very similar to other spaces. Let's see layout and what this does. So here's smart scenes. This is what I wanted to play with. But you know what? I want to play with that in the big version. So let's do 16 by 9. So if we did smart scenes, what could we do? So it says it's creating scenes and it says scenes created. You know what I didn't do? Let me go back. Let me go to the full video and let it create scenes from that because we just did it with a clip. So edit the full video. And then I want to see what Smart Scenes does for me. Okay. Layout, Smart Scenes. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of scroll through. Okay, what I'm noticing is there's certain scenes where it has actually made her the individual speaker because she's speaking longer there. And then it is going back to the two of us. So it's doing this editing for me. I like it. I like it. Okay. So I could probably continue to generate smart scenes and change different ways that, how I'm spotlighting the person or not. Let's see. Okay, I like that. Let me see what else we can do. So we can split, we can do all the types of editing that you normally do. We can add a scene, which I think that means if you wanted to add like a sponsor video or something like that, you can add another video in there or add a clip. Maybe you pop in and do kind of like a behind the scenes type of thing saying, hey, at this part, this is where we talked about X, right? That's cool. Let's expand tracks. So this is what I was talking about when I said tracks. So in this instance, what we have is a track for her and a track for me. So we can edit each of those individually. So that actually makes sense in that there may be certain things that you want to remove or edit, or maybe the sound quality you want to work on a little bit more for one or the other. Maybe you have great equipment, but the other person doesn't. And so you need to adjust their volume. I love using the AI producer for that again because it really is helpful. It's super easy to apply it. But I like that you still have the flexibility of being able to edit using these manual options too. And this is where you get to add music. So if you wanted to add music, so you can use their music library. And this is one of the features that they mentioned to me too. So you can use their music library right here. Let's see what that does. Okay, it's kind of loud. So I wonder if I have the ability to be able to reduce the sound. I do. Okay. So we're going to move that down to maybe about, I don't know, 16%. Ooh, and I can fade it in and fade it out. This is what they were mentioning. Okay. So look at this. You can do full out editing now in Riverside. This wasn't there before. Oh my goodness. Yeah, y'all, this is impressive to me. I'm pretty excited about this stuff. I like that you're able to do that. Okay, so we got that. So, wow, I'm kind of liking this. What's up, Saeed, the entertainer? Let me pop in real fast and show my face real fast and share with you what I'm talking about. So, I'm talking about Riverside FM. And I'm sharing my Black Friday code because I truly think that this can be for some of you. If you're like me, I'm going all in on, of course, live streaming, duh, stream like a boss, but also video podcasting in 2025. And so I've had some amazing folks that are in my hip pocket for resources. So Ecamm Live folks, Doc Rock and Katie have been doing a series on podcasting. I've been watching them. The Podfest folks, I went and attended last year or this past year in January, and now I'm going to be speaking in the upcoming January. But there's just a whole lot of people. I even attended recently something with one of my sisters in the Dames organization who created a 3-day event around podcasting. So it is a big deal. Like this is a hot topic right now for folks. And so if you're looking for tools, the thing is we don't want something that's going to make life harder. We want to use tools and software that are going to make it easier for us to get things done. And to me, the combined power of me really having the scenes that you're seeing me share using something like an Ecamm, in addition to the ability to do pre-recorded videos and guest interviews and editing and producing to a podcast, all of the sharing clips, all of that inside of Riverside, that's priceless. So definitely take a look at the link. So the link that you see under here, right under there where it says sign up, tanyasmith.link/Riverside BF for Black Friday. And then the QR code, both of those will take you to the same place. And then you use the promo code Tanya35 to get 35% off the pro plan. I didn't want you to miss that if you're coming in a little bit later. Okay, let's go back to, I want to point out a couple more things in here. And thank you for that, heart. Yes. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. It sounds like you're saying that this tool takes the place of multiple tools. Absolutely, I am. I am indeed. Wow. And yes, What's up, Saeed from Germany? I think is it bedtime where you are? You need to let me know. I don't want to be keeping you up. Were you saying earlier that you were using multiple tools with Ecamm? I have the original Ecamm, like one time $15 original. Okay, let me clarify exactly what I'm saying here. Let me clarify that. So here's what I'm saying. I love Ecamm for the purpose that Ecamm is intended at this moment, which is live streaming perfection. Okay. So everything that I need to do as it relates to live streaming, I'm still a huge fan of Ecamm. I'm not going to not be a fan of them. And, and Riverside does have live streaming available to you as well. And so for my folks who are coming in, my clients that are coming in who are newer to live streaming specifically, and they really want to go all in on live stream, but they're like, I need things simple, give me one-stop shops for stuff. I'm telling them, forget about some of the old ones. I won't name names and put anybody down, but I'm going to say forget about some of the other platforms that maybe you used to use, because in Riverside, you literally can brand your and theme your live stream. You can choose whether or not you want to go live from Riverside, or you can pre-record. You can go solo, or you can add guests. You can do a lot in Riverside. So you can do that portion of the recording or the production, but then you also in Riverside have the capability of being able to edit. So you can record or you can simply upload from another place, which is what I do, because I record and do my live streams inside of Ecamm, and then I take that produced content, pull it into Riverside to do everything else. And by everything else, what I'm saying is you can edit. So you can make the edits that I was showing you. You have the capability of doing. You can edit the soundtracks. You can add music. You can say, hey, I want to do, I decided I wanted to add these images or some GIFs in here, some animated GIFs with a person dancing. And then you can literally produce that video into an audio podcast on various sites like Spotify directly from inside of Riverside. You can take those show notes and you can use those show notes for your chapters and to create. You can also have captions that are built in. We saw that too. You can brand those captions according to your colors and your themes and the way that you want. All of that inside of Riverside. So yes, indeed, to your question, I am saying it could be a one-stop shop for a lot of folks. It could. And it's becoming my second shop for a lot of what I do right now, because I still do love the high power of the Ecamm production process, but I love the capability of the ease of editing and doing everything else, including creating clips inside of Riverside. So I'm going to check real quick here. Yes, I can share the link again. Let me pop it up for you. There you go. Saeed, you said it in the comments. I did not say it, but I let you say it. And yes. Okay, so Riverside FM, there it is. If you go to the link or the QR code and type in Tanya 35 in the promo area, it should give you 35% off for Black Friday. So 35% off the annual pro plan. Yes. Okay. This is a good question. And this is one I actually sent to their support team earlier today. Forgive me if you answered this, but what is the additional $10 a month live studio? And is it necessary when getting started? So I haven't gotten their answer yet, but I am going to show you what I see on their site, because that is important to me too. I don't want you buying or investing in things you don't necessarily need. But let me pull up the pricing page, and I'm going to show you what I saw. Let's see if we can get that up for you real quick. Let me show you this, because they do have a little bit of an explanation there that tells you what Live Studio does. Now, I'm going to tell you, because I have ambassador access, meaning I have access to be able to see even experimental features that are not released yet and that kind of thing. I can't always tell what do people see and what can't they see on their end. And that's why I sent the note to support to say, okay, I know I have access to all these things, but what is it that people are missing if they don't get live studio? So let's just kind of look at the pricing and take a peek, okay? Let's do that. And we can kind of maybe we can figure it out. And if not, I'll come back to you after I hear back from them. So here's what the question is about. And first of all, let me tell you in terms of the plans, remember if you have pro level, that's how you can access the QR code and the Tanya 35 promo code I was talking about. That's what this will be off of, is the yearly pro plan. Okay, so it's $288, but you get 35% off if you use my code. Okay, so what she's asking about is down here, this add-on that's available is called Live Studio. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to tell you, actually it's not in this one. I'm going to go back in a minute to show you where I saw a pop-up. Live stream watermark free in 1080p and customize your studio's design to match your brand. See, I have that already inside of my version, which is why I don't know what happens if you don't check this box. So I'm going to find out for you and I'll come back and make sure you know. But I suspect it has to do with the aspect of the customization of your studio design. So let me show you kind of the back end of mine so you can see what I'm talking about. So if you were to go into the studio space, when you go in here, let's say we're doing a new project. Actually, we'll just pick the one I was already playing with. No, I think I need to go and do a new one. Okay, let's do new project. And I'm going to act as though I'm going to record. And when I go in here, I'm going to say join studio. Okay, we'll fix that. I'm just going to say yes. And hopefully this doesn't boot us out because I'm using a lot of resources right now. Okay. So what I'm doing as I'm inside of this studio is I am able to go over here to brand and I can say, hey, I want to use my branded colors, or I can use different themes that they already have available. I just don't love many of the themes. So that's one of the reasons why I don't use them. Okay, but they do have themes in here. Now, my curiosity around the live studio is the ability to be able to use these themes. My guess, based on the way it's described, is that if you don't select that box, then you won't have the capability of being able to do the brand customization, because it looks like if you check that box, that's what you get. Okay. So I'm able to customize my brand. And when I actually go live, if I were to use this studio to go live, you'll see up here, there's options to go live in YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X if you chose to go there, TikTok, Twitch, and you can even use a custom RTMP, which is available if you're doing something like Instagram, okay? So it has all the major ones that I need anyway. It also gives you a public audience link. So you can, let's say, for instance, that you have a community of people that are a part of your academy, right? And so you're doing a live stream that is exclusive to them, then you have the ability to be able to actually use this public audience link and just share it with them or whoever it is you want to share it with. And I think that you're also able to embed this into a space of your choice. But I like that option. The other thing, which I do not have access to, if you're on a different level plan, which I think is the business plan, is you have the ability to also be able to, I'm just going to see if I can show you here in a minute. You have the ability to be able to allow people to register similarly to a webinar. I don't think I have it on the right screen for you to be able to see that. Yeah, I don't have it on there right now. The other thing that you can do, though, is if you have a team member, right? If you have a team member or a producer, you can actually invite your producer to the show to actually do the behind the scenes stuff while you are working with your guest and doing the interview. So lots of options. And some of these options, like what I'm showing you right now, a lot of this part has been there, but they've added new features. They've added extra bonuses. So, for instance, this media library, I can add my own music now, and they also have some options here available too in their playlist. So that's cool. There's just stuff that I think is really kind of handy. Look right here. So if I wanted to use captions, this would show up in my live stream if I were doing a live here. Okay. Or I could simply just record or run a test. So there are options. There's so many things that you can do with this. This is the reason why I'm saying for many of you, this could be a one-stop shop. You don't have to go anywhere else. For me, because I do love the power of live streaming through Ecamm, I'm going to continue to probably be doing my Ecamm lives, but then I will produce everything inside of Riverside, and I will do my guest interviews moving forward in 2025. The ones that are pre-recorded and on demand will be through Riverside. So I hope I answered that question for you. Let me know if you need more on that. Let me take a real quick look at something. So there were a couple of things. I wanted to see the zoom in crop to adjust video focus. I did not get a chance to look at her how-to video to see how that works exactly, but I'm just going to generate some. See, did we generate some magic clips? We did. Let's take a look at a couple of things in here. Let me show you exactly how, when I do use show notes, how this looks, okay? So my show notes, I love because it pulls out keywords. Look at that, boba tea, criminology, student loans, Denmark, because we were talking about all those topics here. It gives a summary. It does the takeaways. It even gives you a sound bite. So it gives you all the information, the text versions of content that you need. Now I can go power mode and take this transcript from my video and upload that to Cast Magic, which is still my favorite too. But if you wanted to just remove and reduce all the many different accessory platforms, look how much you can still just do inside of this one space. I mean, I think that's crazy in a good way. This is another thing that I think is really cute is that they do these social snapshots, which are kind of cool. Social snapshots of what is going on during your interview. Okay. In this case, she was like, don't put me on that camera for that one. But here, let me see. I think I have some down here, which I thought were funny. I may not be able to see it. Yeah, there we go. And then you can share these. So you can use these little clips or social snapshots as promos, right? That's pretty cool. Let me answer your question, Michelle. Let me come back to your question in just a second. But yeah, you can do a lot with this. I think I might have done the test that I wanted to do, but I'm curious, do you have something you want me to test? Here's that AI voice. I don't have access to this, but this is where you can drop your text and instantly get audio that sounds like you. So what they're saying is it's perfect for ad reads, intros, and outros so that you can pop that into your podcast, right? Your voice using AI. So that is a cool feature to have available to you. It's convenient. I can see how that might be useful for some people. I also love the ability to be able to go in here and say, hey, I've got an interview with Jane Doe coming up, and it's going to be on such and such date, right? It's going to be on the 20th at 2 p.m. And you can invite your guest using this as well as invite your producer. This is the thing I was telling you I don't have access to, audience registration. So if you wanted to enforce your audience actually being able to register to join, similar to like a webinar, you have the ability to be able to do that if you upgrade to business level. And I think you have to contact them. Yep. Let's talk. And part of the reason is because it depends on the amount of content that you're going to need to be uploading and how you're going to use it. And they'll give you pricing levels according to your intended use. But frankly, I'm pretty good with just the pro. And the live studio, I do think you're probably going to need. This is what I was looking for earlier. Okay, more about live studio. Here we go. So when you add Live Studio to your subscription plan, you can add a logo. So the stuff that you saw already in my scene, you won't have automatically unless you have Live Studio. That's what I'm getting from this. So Live Studio adds the logo, adds a background image if you need that, which you may or may not need, adds a custom background color and accent colors. It removes participants' names, full branding and customization of your studio. You can change the video frame size. Again, these are nice tos, not necessarily have tos. I do personally want live streaming at least 1080p. So I'm probably going to do this because I do broadcast to YouTube. Now, if you're doing this, if you're only live streaming to Facebook or LinkedIn, you're going to be cut to 720 pixels anyway. But you want to try to stream at the best resolution that's possible for you. So I think I would say if it were me and I were making a decision and I didn't have access today, I would check the box to get Live Studio because I do live streaming regularly. If that's not something you're doing, you may not need that part. If you're only doing pre-recorded, right? Okay, let me answer some questions. And Saeed answered for me, which I'm totally in agreement with. So Michelle's question, so does that replace Cast Magic? No, I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is for those people who decide that they don't want to use other apps, they just want a one-stop shop, which I get that question all the time from different clients. I think that Riverside could be sufficient for you. So exactly to what Saeed said, Cast Magic isn't just about video, right? Cast Magic is about audio. Cast Magic takes that transcript. So the show notes that you see inside of Riverside, they're not processing them further for you, but they are available to you to use however you choose. They'll give you a summary, keynotes, etc., but that's standard. If you're taking your transcript, Michelle, and you're uploading it into Cast Magic, as you know, Cast Magic can turn that sucker into a whole bunch of other types of content, right? So in our multiplier method course, we're going to be teaching how to use Cast Magic along with a couple other tools that I use consistently to multiply my content into other forms. So yeah, it doesn't do that for you. The one thing that it will do is it will allow you to produce different versions of your video that you're uploading. And if you want to do audio only, you can do audio as well inside of Riverside FM. Because remember, originally that was their focus. It was audio podcast is what I used to see everybody using it for. But now they have expanded and really made this thing a shop for those who want to do either audio or video podcasts and to be able to do the editing, to be able to do producing, to the recording, the inviting of guests and producers, all of that in one, creating multi-purpose content from that singular piece of recording, right, that you put in there. All of that is available in here, but it's not intended to do every single thing. So Cast Magic is still, in my mind, is still something I'm going to be using because it does so much more. It gives me a whole bunch more options of what I can do with the transcript version from my video. So I hope that helps. Yeah. It's about leveraging what you have. And the reason why I like apps like this is, again, it's the time saving aspect of it. Depending on how you choose to operate, you can say, hey, I want to use this like I do as a core part of my workflow. So for me, the workflow looks a little like this. It goes from, I'm going to record in Ecamm. So I'm doing my live stream in Ecamm for a whole bunch of different reasons because I love it. I'm going to take that content that I recorded and I'm going to use my isolated videos, also known as ISOs. And if I'm getting too technical, that's okay. So I won't take a lot of time right now to try to explain all these things. For those of you who are in the academy, you get a chance to ask. We can have more conversation about it. But I'm going to take those ISOs. Those are then going to be pulled into different platforms, or I'm going to just pull the singular video that I created in Ecamm over into Riverside. I'm going to use Riverside to edit it. I'm going to use Riverside to add a podcast version of the intro and outro. I'm going to cut it up, use magic clips from it. I'm going to publish it over to Spotify from inside of Riverside. I'm going to do all of that in Riverside and then do this. Go take a nap. Right? And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to take that video that I uploaded into Riverside and I'm going to upload it into Cast Magic, and then I'm going to let my Cast Magic do its thing to create additional social media content for me. You get what I'm saying? So that's my workflow. Your workflow may be, look, all of that tech, I don't want to deal with it. So I just want to be able to go click a button, record myself and my guest. And then I want to be able to do a little light editing. And then I want to hand it off to my producer or to my assistant. You can do that too using Riverside. So I'm saying that it has multiple capabilities and it can fit into your workflow no matter what your workflow looks like. It can either simplify it or save you time if you have a more complex flow like I do. So I hope that makes sense. And I hope that's helpful. Yes, let me go ahead. I'm going to pop this question up too. Let's see. So is this deal only this year or are you locked in to this cost? That's a good question. What I'm going to say is I don't know. I'll find out for you. But remember, it is an annual. It's a pro annual. So that is absolutely something we can ask and support. And I'll see what I can find out for you too. I wouldn't be surprised, Michelle, if it is just intended for a year and then you next Black Friday see what deal they have, because that's what a lot of the platforms do anyway, right? But even having 35% off for the entire year, 2025, that's bomb. That's way better than not having a discount. Right? And paying full price. Although even full price, I think, is worth it, because if you look at and compare some of the platforms that are out there right now and the cost of those platforms, Riverside is comparable even without the pro code. It's comparable. It's probably more affordable than some that have recently hiked their prices up and not giving you a lot of extra features. Saeed, you know which one I'm talking about. So I'm just saying, I think that it is definitely something that you should look into. I have truly enjoyed it. I've enjoyed working with the folks at Riverside from a customer service and support standpoint. They've been excellent and I have had no trouble. I love the aspects of being able to just create whatever I want. And so I am all in on tools that allow me to do that. And this gives me a lot of leeway to be able to create just a lot. Like I said, my solo show, I've got several videos that are uploaded in here. Guest experts for next year. One of the things when we start taking guest experts back on, what I will be doing is doing a lot more of our recording inside of Riverside, because I love that instead of me manually having to go and make edits so that we're side by side when I want us to be, or, vertical top and bottom, or one person's highlighted or spotlighted. This is going to make it super easy with the magic scenes by just clicking a button. So it's saving me time and money. What I've had to do on some level is to slow myself down because I was doing too much. And now I have a tool that I can plug into, and it's going to take care of a lot of the work that I was doing manually or that I was hiring out to do. I mean, it's that simple. For me, it's a game changer. I think it could be for you as well. One of the things I highly encourage you to do is to also look at this little what's next button that they have on the bottom of the page, because it's always going to tell you what is coming up. And so look where they talked about powerful live streaming. And there it repeats it again too, Ratelia, where it says 1080p streaming and more included in the live studio add-on. So if you don't do the live studio add-on, you're probably just defaulting to 720p. which again could be decent for you depending on where you're broadcasting. But if you're broadcasting to YouTube, if YouTube happens to be one of your channels, or Twitch, you probably will want 1080 at minimum. So this, I think, is an option. Oh, the other thing I'll mention to you, the mobile editing. The mobile app is also great. I don't always love everybody's mobile apps, but I do like this. Now, there is something I found out earlier today when we were running some tests. There is something I figured out, and that is that if you invite a guest and the guest is going to join you from the desktop, I don't think using the link that they have to create an account. So the guest link that you're sending to them to invite them to your show, I don't think they have to create an account. But if you invite them and they use their phone, this is just a hot tip for those of you who are using it. If they're using their phone, they may have to install the app. So that's something that you'll want to write into your instructions as you're sharing with people, confirmation of the interview, etc. You may want to say, hey, if you choose to use your mobile, here's a link to the app, or it may ask you to install the app and give permissions to your microphone and your camera so that we can do the interview. But think about how much more flexible that is, because that's giving people the ability to be interviewed on the go. And you can't necessarily do that with a lot of other platforms. Like, I wouldn't even attempt to do that necessarily in Ecamm, which is one of the reasons why I'm going to do more of my guest interviews using Riverside in the future. So I promised, I told you that I would give you the truth. I give you my honest opinion, but it's still just an opinion. And it's going to be up to you to decide what works best for you. I hope that I've given you some things to chew on. I'm going to pop up this code one more time so that you have it, because it is 35% off. Black Friday, 35% off of the Pro annual plan. So that, as the kids say, is fire, and you do not want to miss it. So 35% off Black Friday Pro annual plan is what that takes it off of. And I am excited that I had the opportunity to share it with you today on this fine day. It is not my usual day, but I wanted to do this for you and to make sure you had it so you can start thinking about it. And yeah, that's all I got for today, y'all. I checked to see if I see any questions, but I don't for now. So if you do have some questions and you're watching the replay or you're watching a little later on, make sure you pop them into the comments, because I do pay attention. I do. And I will respond if your comment or chat requires a response. Okay, I'm not able to see my folks in LinkedIn right now. I think I figured out something about that. So if you're over on LinkedIn and you're watching, I'm going to go in a second and check for, actually, let me try to do that now. I'm going to check to make sure that you haven't left a comment for me. And I think I have figured out how to make sure that I get this in for future. So I will be doing that. Oh, and I almost forgot. I need to say a very happy birthday to someone who is amazing. That is Nicolette Barrett. So I'm going to be making sure in our academy that we do you a shout out, okay? We'll do that. All right. I'm double checking here in the live feed for LinkedIn. I do see some folks. Marcia, I see you now. It's good to see you. And you're starting to use Riverside. I love it. I love that you are starting, let me see, to use Riverside. So here's the thing. This is what's happening. When I'm using Restream, it's feeding into Ecamm, and I can't see the LinkedIn comments all the time. For some reason, sporadically I can, but if I just go live to LinkedIn directly from Ecamm, then I can. So I'm in the future going to start doing that, Marcia, because I want to make sure that I'm able to see your comments too and answer in real time. Dr. Valerie Harris in Virginia, thank you. I hope your book launch went really well yesterday. We'll have to catch up on that. Okay, y'all. That's it. I hope you will snag this Black Friday deal. I'm going to pop it up one more quick time and then we will get ready to wrap. I hope you have an amazing Sunday afternoon and that you just stay safe. So, Riverside FM, there is the link, tanyasmith.link/Riverside BF for Black Friday. So, go to that link and it should give you a promo code when you're pulling up the pro annual plan. It's 35% off if you type in Tanya 35. Okay. All right. All righty, folks. Have an amazing rest of the day. And thank you so much for watching and for joining me on this fine afternoon. May you be blessed and continue to be highly favored. May you stay safe. And I will see you next time in the stream.